here is the DCU as it stands. Let's review what has existed in DCU. Creature Commandos, which Dre left in a toilet at one point.
Oh man.
Okay. Superman 2025, which we have discussed ad nauseum, which we're not going to spend time on. But what happens next? Currently, Peacemaker season 2, which I've heard enough people watching it who I believe have intelligent reactions to it, break it down. It's a mess as they've tried to retcon it from the DCEU into the DCU so that James Gunn's wife can still be in it and shit like that, and all kinds of nonsense. And it's just dumb, poorly written, poorly directed, mediocrely acted.
Whoa. James Gunn said this is the best product he's ever made in Peacemaker season 2. And as far as that's what the stands are telling me too. So how are you telling me this? That's not true?
Well,
that James Gunn didn't tell the truth?
Yeah. He didn't tell the truth because remember, Superman had to go on digital release so you could get ready for the mature rated Peacemaker, which has bisexual orgies in it.
Come on.
John Cena will do anything. He'll do anything.
Oh, that we know.
Yeah, he doesn't know the word no.
Yeah. So Peacemaker season 2 is happening. There's a lot of funny money number munching, moving around, going on to try and pretend it looks good when in fact it is doing, as I've heard it broken down, worse than the Acolyte.
Sweet Jesus.
It's actually doing, when you break it down, its numbers are worse than the Acolyte. So this is by no means a success. So now going forward, what is happening next in the DC EU? Supergirl.
Oh.
They just shifted the release date to May 29th from July so that it wasn't competing with Spider-Man and the possibly great, possibly massive trash fire Odyssey. So
yeah, they don't want to compete with either of those because I'm going to go see Odyssey.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yes, there's going to be much seeing and much discussing because Ed and I are either be going, fuck yeah, or God help us. You know,
I'm going to reread the book. It's been a couple years, and right before, I'm going to try to finish it in time and ready to take notes and cross-reference and tear it apart if they do poorly. But James Gunn already knew that competition didn't do well for Superman this year, so he doesn't want to repeat the same mistakes as he did this year with Superman. It is smart. It is the right thing to do, but it is still kind of funny to point and laugh at him. It's like, hey, if this wasn't obvious to you before that maybe you shouldn't compete with massive films like Jurassic Park and Marvel, even though Marvel's on the decline, of course. But you want little competition around actual release date.
Yeah, exactly. So we have Supergirl, and all we know is what we've said repeatedly, based on Tom King's Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which by actual Supergirl fans and not fake comic book stands is a complete and utter piece of shit because Tom King is a piece of shit.
Which breaks my heart every time.
Wasn't he the one who convinced James Gunn to use the hypno glasses? Was it the same guy?
Yes,
that sounds right.
I believe so. Now, Millie Alcock, jury's out whether or not she was a good cast. She has all of 5 seconds on screen, which is enough for every simp out there to go, oh my God, she's the best. She's so great. I mean, that was all they need. We don't know if she's going to be a good cast or not. Attractive, yes. But good as Supergirl, we don't know. And will she portray a Supergirl people will enjoy? I think no. I don't think it's going to work because it's based on Tom King's Woman of Tomorrow, which is not a good Supergirl story from what I've been told. But not secondly, also, if the taste of later bitch and all that stuff is what we have to work on, then I'm already leaning towards no. The Simps are going to make it as though it's the greatest thing in the world. Real people are going to reject this. And this movie will likely cost a minimum of $200 million, likely a little more. The best thing will probably be Jason Momoa's Lobo. But that's because you have to work real hard to fuck up Lobo. Really hard. And
there's no way that they can. Wait, no, yes, there is. What am I talking about? Of course, there's away from that stuff. Every time I give them the lowest of hanging fruit, they still find a way to make urine out of it. I have no idea. I retract my statement. They can ruin it. Never mind.
I mean, I said that knowing what I was saying that would get the reaction out of you.
Well,
Point is,
what would be funnier? Supergirl makes more money than Superman or makes less? Because I can find humor in either scenario.
Oh, there's humor in both, and it will make less. Because Superman, as we say repeatedly, is one of the top 3 most recognizable superheroes in the world after Spider-Man and Batman.
That's correct.
Supergirl is not. In fact, some people don't even know that Supergirl and Power Girl are the same character, just different universes. Some people don't even know that.
I didn't know that until just now.
Yeah, Power Girl is an adult Supergirl from an alternate from a different DC reality.
Yeah, it depends on what story. Whatever depends on what story. Sometimes she's a clone.
Yeah,
and sometimes she's alternate dimension.
Yeah.
Either way, nobody knows that.
Yeah,
nobody
knows that, and we don't.
And
even
I like
know
Power Girl more, quite frankly. I like Power Girl.
Boob window.
Well, yeah, her costume's a lot better.
Oh yes,
boob window.
All hail Galatea. Yes, Lord.
I'm not a big fan of derivative costumes, and so that's why I like the Power Girl one better. Not just because of the boob window, but yeah, it's significantly different. The Supergirl, the normal one, is a skirt added onto the normal Superman. So I like variety in my costumes. I like the Robins are different than Batman, but like in the Arrow TV show, everyone was wearing a different color leather from Arrow, and it was the same costume, just slightly shaded differently. I fucking hate that shit.
Well, I mean, CW budgets.
And the thing about Power Girl is that the boob window exists to titillate us, but it's also the fact that she hasn't earned the S yet.
Nope,
she hasn't earned the S yet. That's why I said, because if you notice, the window would fit the triangle because it would fit that. Either way, so people don't know Supergirl, so this is not going to have any sort of ground-based, truly organic excitement aside from Millie Alcock Simps. So there's no way this movie will have the force behind it to even get to, I think, what this Superman movie has. Because James Gunn said last week that he plans multiple Superman movies, at least 3 more. And I replied, yeah. I didn't say that last week. Oh, yeah. He's planning at least 3 more. And they're going to lose because look, you're telling me that that the sequels are going to get more money than this? That's not how it works. The only way a sequel gets more money is if the first one was a resounding, complete, and total success.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So a good example would be like Batman Begins and then The Dark Knight. Yeah. Like Batman Begins was a fantastic film. The Dark Knight may be held as one of the greatest films ever made. So absolutely, you have to have a film that is gangbusters in order for your sequel to make it rain. So this is not, ain't no way.
I mean, my prediction, this Superman is landing right in there. I said 550 to 650. The next one, I will say right now, and I reserve the right to adjust it based upon footage and material released, but I'll say right now, first statement on that, 350 to 450. I'll say that right now.
I have no evidence. I have no evidence to the contrary.
Which is the same thing I'm going to say for Supergirl, 350 to 450. Because there's no way this movie will have any traction with normies, anything like that. So it's not going to happen.
I have a question. Do we know who this film is going to be for? Now, what I mean by that, like, is this supposed to be another general audience film? So we're going to have a bunch of modern references and nonsense, or is this supposed to be a legitimate adaptation? Do we have that information yet? Or
I don't know.
Nobody.
It's not for comic fans, that's for sure. Maybe it's for the same age group as Supergirl herself, so like 20-year-old college girls, which is not a high spending demographic. But I think the target audience is James Gunn stans. That would be my guess at this point.
And Millie Alcock Sims.
Oh yeah, of course.
And we know one thing. The summary blurb. Supergirl helps a girl seek revenge. A young girl seek revenge for the murder of her family. And they're hunted. She's being hunted.
That
and by assumption, it
sounds like shit. It's not a personal story for her then.
Well, neither was Superman 2025.
I was just about to say the same thing.
It wasn't a Superman movie. So this is Supergirl. The next thing we know coming out movie-wise. But then Lanterns. And here we have footage. Lanterns. Apparently, this is a cop interrogating Jon Stewart over something while they're walking around the Midwest depowered. Remember, it's a buddy cop show taking place in Midwest America.
Without their powers, that's the best part of the Green Lantern. I love the idea of those powers purely driven by imagination. The imagination of the creator is the only limit of what you can do with that storytelling. And their big imagination, their big creative ideas. What if we remove all of the creativity and remove everything that makes Green Lantern special? You're so smart. It's moronic. I wish that this was going to be good. I'd be excited for this because I love the idea of Green Lantern, but the Ryan Reynolds movie was not enough to make me interested more than I already was. So I was hoping for some great content, but this doesn't sound like it. James Gunn has to be involved in this. He's idea
involved in everything.
Right. So I was hoping at first it's like, all right, James Gunn's distracted with Peacemaker. He's distracted with Superman. Hopefully some creative can come in, but he's absolutely involved if he's making these sort of devastating decisions. It's always related to him.
I mean, think about it like this. Remember the first promotional picture we got of Superman was putting on the boot, which we know that scene was that scene, which was a terrible scene, by the way.
They lied to us. I don't know if you remember, but when that image came out and whatnot, they're like, oh yeah, this is just promotional material. You don't need to worry about the imp. It's just supposed to be something pretty in the background for this promotional image. They lied out of their teeth. He is acting that slow and that disinterested and that nonchalant to that entire sequence.
Exactly. So now here, our first promotional stuff for Lanterns was the buddy cop pick where they're walking together down the street. Why not show us in their iconic suits? Jon Stewart says, I don't need no mask, and Hal Jordan in the mask in the full regalia. Why not show us? No, instead they're just walking down a dirt road in the middle of nowhere America. And now here's
speak superhero content, let alone
exactly.
lanterns.
And you can't even really see the rings on their fingers. You can't even really see them. And now here's our first footage screenshot of him being interrogated. By a white girl cop. Dre, are you feeling represented?
No, definitely not. First and foremost, I love me some Jon Stewart.
Hell yeah.
Let's get that part out the way. But if you're trying to seduce me, show me Jon Stewart as the Green Lantern. Seduce me, for God's sake. You're on the back foot, DCU. No, screw DCU. James Gunn. Tell the truth, shame devil. You're on the back foot, player. You need my viewership. Seduce me, for God's sake. Put Jon Stewart in the suit so then we can have nerd debates. Then we can have a conversation like, oh, how good the suit looks. Oh, I think they took it from this version or that version or whatever the case may be. I hate it. I love it. Blah, 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 blah. There's no discourse. If I told you that this was NYPD Blue, would you believe me?
Yes.
100%.
See what I'm saying? There's absolutely nothing that shows me that this is a Green Lantern show. Why would this be your promotional image?
It's like they're embarrassed of the source material. It's like they don't want to make a Green Lantern show. They want to make a true detective show, and they're doing everything possible to make it that instead of making what it should be. And I'm all for making shows or adaptations with the style of something else. So the idea of a Green Lantern show with aspects of True Detective in space, that's an interesting idea.
Put it in space.
But you had the show that you wanted to make and you forced it into that category instead of just taking inspiration from what you wanted. There's a lot of great examples of this. If you're going in to make a Star Trek show, make a Star Trek show first and then have your inspirations affect the direction it goes. Don't go into it making, hey, this is what I want and I'm going to morph, rip, tear, and shove the source material to fit into the box that I wanted to actually do because I wasn't good enough to be hired for the job I wanted.
Exactly. I know. That is perfect. Give us a Green Lantern show. You looking at this right here, let's just lower it right here. As Dre said, you don't know this is a Green Lantern show. No idea. All we do know about the show is that it's about Jon Stewart, which means likely Hal Jordan is going to give him the boost and sacrifice himself to do something. It's going to some way, shape, or form probably denigrate Hal Jordan to elevate Jon Stewart, which, as I've said repeatedly, is completely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. So here's Lanterns coming out first quarter 2026, probably before Supergirl, my guess. And listen, we're going to watch and review the hell out of this. This is easy. Let's do that. So then there's that. And then now this week, they've begun shooting Clayface.
For God's sake.
A body horror tragedy origin story for not even Matt Hagen. It's a different Clayface because there is Matt Hagen in this, but he's not Clayface. He's his manager.
Wait, Matt Hagen's the manager?
That's what I saw today. I saw that.
Are they
today.
doing the Karlov one?
I don't know. All I know is that we're getting Clayface, no Batman. And remember, this was never in the plan. They fast-tracked the hell out of this over the past 4 months. We first heard about this around February. They have fast-tracked the hell out of this.
Because James Gunn liked it. It's all about his personal feelings of what overwrites the plan or overrides logic. Now, I love the idea of Clayface. The only real introduction I have to him is in the Arkham games, and he's not in that a whole lot. Really, he's just a fake Joker for the majority of Arkham City. But the idea of this character is fascinating to me, and going in the body horror route is great. This should be a Batman story. Have Clayface be this primary villain, incorporate this aspect of the story, get the body horror in there, get the tragic character, but he's still an antagonist facing against Batman. The man without a face, fighting the man without an identity. Dude, this is great for an early Batman as he's trying to figure out the difference between Bruce Wayne and the Batman. As he's trying to figure out himself. He faces a character who doesn't know himself.
You just wrote a better movie than this is going to be. You just wrote it, and you just gave the perfect 30-second pitch to what a great introduction to a Batman in the DCU should be. Batman, not old. Remember, James is going older Batman. Batman year 2, year 3, trying to figure out the dichotomy of Bruce Wayne Batman while battling Clayface, the man trying to restore himself to what he used to be.
It's a great character-driven story that you could have there. They'd play off each other so well. You don't need a personal connection. I hate the whole superhero thing. It's like, it just happens that this villain is personally connected. That's as much as I like the Sandman story in Spider-Man 3, the fact that he's the one who killed
an abomination.
Uncle Ben is
which never happened.
Awful. But you want to start with the early character so you have the foundation to make the older Batman work. It's the same discussion we're having with the God of War TV show, is the impact of the Norse story when he's an older, retired, drawn out man doesn't mean as much if we don't get the younger, more vibrant, more off the handle character from the Greek games. Same thing with Batman. Batman Returns means nothing if you don't have year 1, if you don't have all that stuff to build up to him losing faith like he does in Batman Returns, at least initially.
Yeah. So I mean, this is not going to do well because no Batman. Plain and simple. Why do we have another villain origin story without the hero? Everybody is begging you to do. Not to mention the confusion. I mean, I've seen the comparison screens for people saying it's definitely not Matt Reeves' Batman because they're showing different Gotham PD cop cars and this and that. But normies, that doesn't matter. Normies are still going to be confused. They're going to see this movie come out and they're going to go, wait a minute, where's the Batman that we just saw a couple years ago?
With the Batman, either cancel the sequel or make him your official Batman. Those are your two options. Normies don't understand Elseworlds. The multiverse is already hard enough for people to understand if they're not in the nerd sphere like us. So you avoid it or you build up to it slowly. And Marvel has not done that whatsoever. No. But yeah, with them, you can't have competing Batman stories. Otherwise, the audience is going to get fucking confused. So yeah, you need to start fresh or incorporate it. And the Batman was primed to be incorporated. It was connected to nothing else. It could have been set a little bit before the events of Superman. It's easy. Easy to do. Just, hey, it's part of the DCU now. But he wants to keep it separate so he can have his Batman. So he can have his, what's the, Damian Wayne's.
Which is, and this Batman Brave and the Bold, which what's its working title still is still 3 years away.
At least, probably.
I mean, they haven't even written the script yet, and right now they are probably rushing to cast him with everything swirling right now with cast this, cast that. They're rushing to because they need to anchor interest because all these things I just showed you, there will be no true organic interest.
There's nothing to get people interested in. Superman needs his Trinity. You need Wonder Woman out fast. You need Batman out fast. As much as Zack Snyder's movies are awful, he knew that he had to introduce these characters as quickly as possible.
Correct.
Batman v Superman was not the correct way to do it, but he at least knew they need to be there front and center at first, start the Trinity, and build out from there. You don't build off with side characters. You don't build off with
common knowledge. It's beyond common knowledge. If you're dealing with anything with DC, you start with the Holy Trinity. Yep. Once that is established, then you can do whatever you want. The fact of the matter is, I love me some Clayface. Let's not get that twisted. I love me some Clayface. But they did not learn anything from Sony. Did anybody learn anything from Sony? You don't do villains unless you have the hero. Yes, was Joker lightning in a bottle? Yes, it was. Was that even a superhero film? No, it wasn't. It was a case study about mental illness featuring a character, technically that wasn't even the Joker, that was using that name and moniker set in the city of Gotham. That is why it still works without a Batman character. And it was lightning in a freaking bottle. Sony failed abysmally trying to do this villain, no spider. Come on. Now you're going to try to do the same thing with Batman, of all characters. Exactly. A character that is literally built off of his rogues gallery. You're going to not have him involved. Like, what was that show? Gotham. It came out 10 years ago or so. Gotham. Yeah. When they started, like, they were trying to do it NYPD Blue because everybody's obsessed with NYPD Blue for some reason. NYPD Blue in Gotham, featuring Commissioner Gordon before he was the commissioner. But then you're going to start introducing Batman villains. What are you doing?
I couldn't stand that show.
It's such a retarded ordeal.
You had to make Penguin and Riddler gay together.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So wait, did they end up getting they had gay
All
sex?
I know is that they were working on that. I didn't.
Yeah, I know Penguin. I knew Penguin had. Man, they put fish, but just everything about that show. If they just stuck with, hey, we're just doing a cop show that's in Gotham pre-Batman, we could have had some fun with it. When you start introducing Victor Freeze and Jonathan Crane and all these rogues gallery characters, I'm like, okay.
Focus on like Falcone or something like that.
Yes. You Falcones, the Maronis. You just focus on the mob families. That's more than enough content to fill out an entire show if it's just a cop drama.
And just have Batman in the background.
Because if they want to do Batman in the background, fine. But the fact of the matter is, this is young Gordon, so there is no Batman.
True.
And then you feature the teenage Bruce Wayne, and I'm like, yo, these are my wrists. Do something to them so that liquid can come out of them, because I don't want to be here anymore. The principle still remains the same. Now we're going to do a full-on Clayface, which I love Clayface. But what's the point? What's the point of giving me Clayface if there's no Batman to stop him? What's the point?
And here's the thing. I mean, Dre, you watch Creature Commandos. You know that Batman showed up in a frame in that.
Yes, he does.
So he's there.
So he's there. So Batman exists in this universe already. Yes. Oh, right. I forgot to mention that. He already exists.
Yes.
Because according to James Gunn and his timeline, blah, 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 Batman's there.
Yeah.
During the Creature Commandos, which is supposed to take place before the Superman show, Superman movie, the Superman movie. So Batman has been well established for some time doing Batman things.
Yeah.
So why do we have a Clayface film without Batman?
Because now this Clayface film will take place before Creature Commandos, because Clayface appeared in Creature Commandos.
This is a joke. Yeah, that's right. He did show up in Creature Commandos.
It's a mess. There is no plan. He keeps talking about the master plan. I don't know if you guys have played Red Dead Redemption 2, but I'm starting to get Dutch vibes from James Gunn. If you've played that game, he's just constantly saying, there's a plan, and it just always falls off the rails. That's what we're looking at here. And I don't know if you guys heard, Alan Richardson has officially said that he's in talks with James Gunn, but he will not be the Batman. Yeah. That's a fan casting that people really like, and I think could be decent. I don't know if he could pull off Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, that's
the thing I'm worried about. Yeah. I don't know if he has the charisma for Bruce Wayne, but he's got the physicality for it. The Batman, Reacher.
The guy from Reacher. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the guy from Reacher.
Well, I mean, if you ever watch him from Blue Mountain State, he can do charisma. as the Todd or Thod, whatever that character was from Blue Mountain State, which is a super bro dude. So he could do it, but I don't know if
it's
he could
not
do
the
Bruce
best
Wayne.
option, but it is a option that fans are excited about. There's a lot of fan casting. There's a lot of hype around that idea. But to just come out and say, nope, we don't want you.
Richardson was Aquaman in Smallville, so they're just gonna make him Aquaman in this.
And he's more comic accurate to Aquaman than Jason Momoa ever was. So I think that would actually be really good casting for him. So let's hope that is what they meant by he has a future in the DCU, just not as Batman. But I fear for what James Gunn comes up with for Batman. I don't imagine it's going to be comic accurate whatsoever. And I honestly don't think it's going to be all that masculine to begin with.
No,
I'm a little worried that we're going to get kind of a beta male type situation from James Gunn.
Dre, there's one more thing now to this, just the capper to this, because I know you are a fan. When I show you this right here, what James Gunn also wants to do. James Gunn hopes to integrate Static Shock with the new DCU. I know you're a Static Shock fan.
Stop the violence. What are we doing? Look, I love me some Virgil Hawkins. All right.
I know you do.
My boy. I love me some Virgil Hawkins. I love me some Bang Babies. Why can't you just leave stuff alone? Look, you can't even get Batman and Superman right. Okay. Why in the world were you going to give a nuanced character as Virgil Hawkins, which does not have mainstream appeal? That's just fair. Does not have mainstream appeal. You're going to try to get him over? Just stop, man.
It's not going to work.
Stop.
It's not going to work.
Stop. You don't belong here. And how are you going to integrate that? Because technically, well, I got to figure out if DC even still owns the rights to Static Story. Because I don't know if those comics are even under their umbrella anymore.
They tried a re-release last year, a reboot, and having it. Remember, we talked about this. They tried to reboot Static, taking place during the Summer of Love. Black Lives Matter.
God,
that's
really?
Right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
because that's what, man. You know what? This is why I hate people so much, especially people that don't understand the culture of the characters. This character in particular was, if you want to consider it, to be a urbanly charged character, but it was done so tastefully that everybody was able to palate it. It was never a lesson that was being beat across your head, even in the comics. And when it transitioned onto the TV show, did it so masterfully. For those that never watched Static Shock, go watch that show. It's a very good show.
Because that's still Paul Dini.
Yes.
Working with that, overseeing all of that. And
yes.
He even though I did find it was a little odd when they interconnected it to the Justice League, and then it was a little clunky.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it was kind of a clunky, but at the same time, they had They had the television rights to the character because of the Warner Brothers umbrella. But they didn't have the right to the comics, so they could reprint the comics. It was a very weird thing. So I don't mind the fact that it was kind of clunky to put them all together, but since they were running at the same time, and Paul Dini was out there ruling the world at the time.
Yes.
It still worked for me when they did those crossovers, even when they did the Batman Beyond stuff. When Virgil Hawkins is an adult and he's like the man. And
that's the future. That's full on Justice League right there. Where
and I think a lot of stuff was cool because the right people were in charge.
But Dre, you also
now those days are done.
They did the basketball crossover where they had Yao Ming.
Okay, that was weird. That was weird. Yeah, was that Tracy McGrady and Karl Malone?
It was great. That was like, what are we doing?
Yeah, that was like, hey, urban youth, we like basketball too. You know what I mean? It was like one of those things. Like it was one of those off episodes that was like weird, but at the same time, it was still all in good fun back then.
Yeah,
it was still all in good fun.
Yeah.
But now to put they tackled a lot of sensitive issues back then, including racism, bullying, dealing with poverty. Like there was a lot of things that was tackled in that show, and ultimately the comic as well, that takes nuance in order for it to be educational and or bring something to the forefront. With these Modern writers, absolutely not. Stay
I'm black and black and I'm black.
Oh,
mommy. That's what it's gonna be.
That's the whole thing's gonna be. That's what Black Lightning was. Black Lightning was one of the worst shows in the history of the CW, which is saying something. I hate Black Lightning so much. I hate that show because the opening freaking scene is colors are being abused. Like, no, man, stop, man. Like, there's more to the character than I gotta help the darkies. Like, no, there's more. There's much more to the black community than us against the cops. There's much more than that. And they cannot see past their own ideological foolishness. So I fear very, very, very much if they got their hands on Static and tried to, put it in James Gunn's image, it'll be a disaster. I just don't want any of it. I don't want it all.
Yeah,
it's embarrassing.
We don't want it. So this is the DCU as we head into 2026 and possibly beyond. We've said it before. We're going to say it again. I'm going to say it's already done. It is finished. When you have your premiere movie that will not make a single profit and has literally divided the audience, there is nowhere. Only where it goes down. There is not enough excitement to elevate and raise anything. Lanterns will have to be a perfect show. Supergirl will have to be a perfect movie. And
even if the show is perfect, Adam, no one's watching.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like I'm saying, like, it doesn't matter. If Superman was let me just say something hyperbolic, was a $2 billion excursion at the box office, loved by critics and baby mamas alike, like then we can actually say, like, okay, now we can parlay that into a television show. Like, hey, if you love that, we got a show that's pushing the story forward. Now everybody's going to come to HBO Max, but I'm assuming that's where it's going to be.
Yeah,
HBO Max, and go and watch this show. But if your film, your flagship, tell the truth, shame the devil, your flagship film is a flop, and now we're like, oh, we're going to parlay. You're crazy.
Yeah,
you're crazy. Just keep burning money like Disney. Like, Disney can't stop burning money. And if you're going to follow, and if you're going to follow suit of people that are failing, you're doing something horribly wrong. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to see.
So we are. I say it now. The DCU is already a failure. I do not think it will. I don't think it makes it, honestly, out of the decade. I think the DCU is done by the time we get to the 2030s.
Ooh.
I don't think it makes it.
You know what? I don't have anything that will to refute
it. How can it go forward if its premiere doesn't make any money, and the following movies and TV shows do not bring in subscribers, do not bring in viewers, do not make money?
It can't justify its own existence.
Oh, no, with that we know.
And right now, Warner Brothers is in a tight financial place.
Dead.
So I agree. At the end of the decade might be the longest running it can get, and we'll probably hear another reboot news. But I think they should go the TV route just for a little while. Reboot it, kind of do what the CW did, but good. And consistently good, and do that for a few years. Try to get interest back, but give it a few years break. Don't do that until 2035. We need a few years off from all of this.
Yeah, so it's a bold statement, but I'm going to say it now. I think it falls apart by the end of the decade. 4 years of this stuff will see it just go, because it doesn't. I'll say it again, if you do not have an avid, organic, pumped up base, then boom, where are we going? What are we doing? That's simple. All right, so that's that. Thank you, Thank you, James Gunn, for dashing all our hopes of exciting superhero content that we really wanted. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, check out my gaming channel at Renaissance Nerd Arcade, and follow me on X Twitter under @TheRedNerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.